Hello everybody and welcome to the 2022 NBA Draft where my San Antonio Spurs are on the board with the 9th pick. And this draft has gone pretty much how we expected it to go, right? Like if we look at the mock draft here, we had the Pelicans taking AJ Griffin, so AJ Griffin is on board. I actually wouldn't hate that pick for the Spurs at all as like a shooting presence for them. Obviously they've taken Devin Vassell, Josh Primo, Lonnie Walker may or may not be back, Derek White's gone.
Well, what we talked about in the mock draft...
You said me to take it, then you take it.
I'm sorry, well, because you made me think. What did we talk about in the mock draft? They needed to get a player like Sochan, and then you need to get a swing for the fence. Could this be their swing for the fence with AJ Griffin, and then you get a player with a higher floor in a later pick? Because they have 3 first-round picks.
I would be happy with AJ Griffin. I'd be happy with Jeremy Sochan.
What if they get a guy like Johnny Davis?
I would not be as happy because I feel like they just traded away Derek White, which is a different version of Johnny Davis to a degree. I don't think either of the centers are in play at this moment, even though Pirtle's situation is kind of fluid at this moment. I don't know 100%, but I don't know if I would take Jalen Duren here. To me, it's Griffin or Sochan, and I think if they take either one of those players, I'm very, very happy. Let me just scroll through my board real quick to make sure I'm not missing anybody else here.
You could take Tari Eason. How would you feel about that?
Nobody has Tari Eason over Sochan on them. I think they're close, but I think you have Sochan significantly higher than Eason.
Yeah, I have Eason 16th. I
think Sochan just has... Sochan has a little bit more upside as a versatile defender, and are the Spurs going to run this clock down here?
It might be that.
Hello?
Maybe they want to Dyson Daniels.
What if they take Ochai? I'd throw something. But you have DeJounte Murray, who is so ball dominant. And Spurs fans, you can talk as much about DeJounte Murray as you want. He is one of the most ball-dominant players in the NBA. With that being the case, I can't see Johnny Davis. I don't really want to guard in this position. I'm happy Dyson Daniels is off, of course, so they don't take him. But Jeremy Sochan, to me, you get one of the best defenders in this draft. You start to build that defensive identity back as a 4, because we've seen Keldon Johnson run the 4 a lot. We've seen Doug McDermott run the 4 a lot. I want Jeremy Sochan.
Yeah,
that's what I want. And you put that with Jakob and DeJounte and Devin Vassell. Oh my God, we have a defense.
And not only that, Jeremy Sochan can pass.
Yes.
So at the very least, you have a 4. So you take Keldon Johnson out of that role. You still have a guy that can pass.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, obviously his translatable skill is defense.
I kind of want them to take AJ Griffin now, though.
Because you're thinking about it, right? Because
think of the 3-point shooter.
Well, I was gonna say, what 3-point shooting do you guys have?
If they get a shooter, it changed things, especially a guy who can play the 2. And as Lonnie Walker's gone, Derek White's gone. And I'm not. Primo looked fine in his first year, but you have DeJounte Murray here, who's going to be a ball dominant guy. You get AJ Griffin next to him.
Yeah.
If he shoots 40+% from 3 for his entire career, it's a great pick.
Yeah, I mean
and if the defense translates, which we just spent like a whole video talking about with the Pelicans because we thought the Pelicans were going to take him. We both like AJ Griffin a lot. Yeah. So I think those are the 2 guys. If they're to anybody else, like if they took Jalen Duren,
it means Pirtle's gone.
Yes, or maybe I think Pirtle's in the last year. Spurs fans don't hate me. I don't completely know Pirtle's contract by heart. But maybe you draft him and then you sit him here, not sit him, but you bring him as your backup 5 to where you don't have to play Drew Eubanks anymore. No offense to Drew Eubanks, he evolved into a decent player. I think Jalen Duren will be better than Drew Eubanks.
He's probably already better.
So yeah, he's already better. So it's like, I think those are the only 3 options, personally. Like,
yeah, because what do you get with Jalen Duren as a center in this draft?
Probably Jay Billis doesn't like Jeremy Sochan.
Yeah, he has him 10th on his best available.
Lower than that?
Yeah.
Oh, 10th on his best available?
Right now, yeah. Right. So I mean, with AJ Griffin, Jalen Duren, and Sochan, you have tremendously high upside with each 3 of those players. I mean, Jalen Duren, super athletic. AJ Griffin, here we'll see what they take.
Shut up.
Sorry, calm down.
The San Antonio Spurs select Jeremy Sochan.
Okay.
There it is. That's the pick. That's the pick.
I like it. I like it a lot. For those who don't know, perhaps the best defender in this draft.
Yeah.
Guards 1 through 5 with ease. At Baylor was the heart of their defense, and man, this dude is long, athletic, quick, versatile. Offensively, I think he has a higher upside than a lot of people are giving him credit for because the shot comes around.
Yeah, I mean, if the shot comes around, he could be a pick and pop. I mean, he didn't do it a lot, but he ran the pick and roll at Baylor a few times, and he looked good in it. I mean, he has the vision to be a guy that can have the ball in his hands, in spurts. And I think that you can't. I mean, as we talked about, DeJounte Murray, super ball dominant. he doesn't need the ball in his hands, but he can have the ball in his hands. And if, like you said, if he develops that shot, he could be one of the best players coming out of this draft with that shot if he has it.
I just look at it from a Spurs perspective of, think about all the times that you had Devin Vassell or Keldon Johnson or Doug McDermott playing your floor. The defensive upside that Jeremy Sochan will bring you at a young age, I think, is what you need with this team. You need some sort of defensive presence here. Jakob Poeltl, fine defender. Not saying anything bad about him. Devin Vassell will be a very good defender. We love Devin Vassell.
Yeah, we love him. Devin Vassell.
DeJounte Murray, great defender. We know all this. But Jeremy Sochan can fit right in.
Jeremy Sochan, I mean, as my ceiling was an all-NBA defensive player. I mean, he's a guy that could possibly develop and do like a defensive player of the year just because he can guard 1 through 5. He can get blocks. He can. I mean, the fact that he can guard the 5 at 6'10".
Yeah. And like you said, he can pass.
He can pass. Yeah.
He can handle the ball a little bit.
So if the first year you have to stick him into the corner and just try to shoot a 3 or whatever, he can make that next pass.
Yeah.
He can do that. He can see the floor. And I think that's a lot of things, like you said, people aren't buying into yet or haven't seen a lot. But I think he's going to surprise some people.
I think you look at him, you compare him to Devin Vassell as prospects. Devin Vassell, obviously, you projected to be a better shooter than what Jeremy Sochan is.
Yeah, I think at the time he had him as Chris Middleton.
Sochan is just such a... also, is that Spike Lee and Jaden Ivey?
Yeah.
You're getting Spike Lee? Did you know this? With the pick? He's coming with Jaden Ivey to Detroit? All right, there you go. No, but... in all seriousness, I think it's a great pick. I had this as their pick in our mock draft.
Yeah,
I thought this. You had it. We had it. I wouldn't have minded AJ Griffin, but I can't complain at all. I think this is a very, very good pick. Very solid
great
pick.
pick.
Spurs. All right, here we are, Colin, the 20th pick in the NBA draft. San Antonio Spurs are back on the clock. With the 9th pick, they picked Jeremy Sochan, which we got right. There's 2 options here, to me, personally.
Yeah.
Malaki Branham. I think the Spurs need... Actually, I'll make it 3 options. Malaki Branham, I think they need scoring punch. Bottom line, I think they just need scoring punch. They need to have scoring upside. You've already drafted a defensive player. Malaki Branham has a little bit of a low floor defensively, but I think he has a high ceiling as a scorer, so I think you take him, or you take a Jaden Hardy, who's a similar type of player, or you take Blake Wesley, who is a nice combo guard at 6'5" from Notre Dame, who has a home run swing. And I think the Spurs need home run swings.
Yeah.
I think the Spurs do not have that bona fide superstar yet. I don't care what you say about DeJounte Murray. To me, I do not believe him to be that level of player.
Yeah.
Blake Wesley, I'm not saying he's going to be better than DeJounte Murray, but you need these type of swings that all-stars. You need swings that guys are going to change your franchise. And I think he has just as high of an upside as Jeremy Sochan. I think he has an incredibly high upside. So Blake Wesley, Jaden Hardy, Malaki Branham, to me, it has to be one of those 3.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we talked about, I think Blake Wesley, if you have him another year in college, he's similar to Jaden Ivey, where he goes from late first round to top 5 pick. So I think he's that type of player. Obviously, I mean, the Spurs are picking 20th right now. Yep. What kind of player do you get 20th? And I think you're right. You need to swing for the fences if you're the Spurs because you might lose Lonnie Walker next year.
Yep. Derek White's already gone.
Yeah, Derek White's already gone. You got Jeremy Sochan, so you don't need a defender. But what are you playing for now? You either get a high upside player like Blake Wesley, or you get a lower, I mean not lower upside, but high upside player like Malaki Branham.
I just can't see them taking like a guy like Marjon Beauchamp. I can't see them taking a Walker Kessler. Yeah. Ty Washington, I wouldn't be mad at either. I don't think it's necessary with DeJounte Murray, especially with the questions of Ty Washington. Ability to expand his range a bit more. I don't think EJ Liddell makes a ton of sense as well.
Yeah.
Kenny Chandler, I would absolutely hate that pick. So yeah, I really just narrowed down to those 3. If I had to throw a 4th in there,
ranked in the 20s, he went 19th. That's
can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Surprise, not a huge jump.
Why not just throw the other Baylor guy, Kendall Brown? Sure, that'll be my number 4 player for the Spurs in this situation. But I just think it has to be one of those 3. I think you need a scorer. You need scoring punch if you're the Spurs here. I know they had a good offense. I know DeJounte Murray put up triple doubles off the wazoo. But you drafted Jeremy Sochan. Your defense will be fine if everything goes right. You need a high upside scorer, in my opinion, a guy who has the potential to score 20 points per game.
Yeah, because look at that. I mean, DeJounte Murray. Murray, Devin Vassell, Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, and then you add Jeremy Sochan to that mix. Where is your scoring coming from? And obviously, DeJounte Murray has high averages, but is he going to be your go-to guy?
I mean, he's such a ball-dominant player that, you know, they kind of forced everybody else to play off of him. And I want a secondary guy who can create his own.
Right, exactly.
Obviously, Keldon Johnson can do it at times. I just want another guard in this that... I wouldn't be surprised if it's Jaden Hardy here, honestly. Let's see.
NBA draft. The San Antonio Spurs select Malaki Branham.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it. We're 2 for 2, Colin. We're 2 for 2. Jeremy, if you told me before the draft, Spurs got Jeremy Sochan and Malaki Branham, I'd do a backflip if I could.
Well, because we have Malaki Branham. I think I have him 14th.
I have him 14th as well.
Yeah, so we both have him 14th. And then you get Jeremy Sochan, who's instant defender. So I mean, this is great for the Spurs. He gives you Lonnie Walker insurance, and then if he doesn't leave, he gives you potential 20-point per game score upside. I mean, he's a freshman. Yeah, so you're drafting a young guy.
19.1 years old.
Exactly, and he played in the Big Ten and
42% from 3. Has a great pull-up J and score off the bounce. Big Ten freshman of the year. 14 points per game. Again, in the Big Ten, in one of the tougher conferences in the country, the shot creation is there immediately. 6'5". I mean, this is a dude who can rise up and score with the best of them in college. I just love his scoring upside. And defensively, you're higher on him defensively than I am, I think, a little bit. He does have a chance. Why they? Oh, he played at St. Vincent St. Mary. Oh, I was like, what is happening? Did we just get LeBron?
As a comp? Yeah.
We got LeBron. Anyways, you know, he doesn't get to the free throw line. I think that's one thing he has to do better. He has to be able to draw contact, which all great scorers have to do. But I think we see a lot at the NBA level that players have to develop that. They have to learn. And so I love that he's not the quickest in isolation, but I think that is something that can develop. There's your defensive potential right there. A lot of people don't see it as well, as much as you do, but I think he does have at least capabilities when he's engaged. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think like Caris LeVert is a nice comp, and if they get that at the 20th pick, holy crap.
That's true. I mean, I have him, well, like Chris Middleton. I think he can score at all 3 levels, and then not only that, he can finish. I mean, a lot of people like to talk about his shooting. I think he can finish really well. I mean, he shot 70% at the basket, which is insane.
Yeah,
so I think
I'd never even looked at those splits before, first and last half of the season. So
I didn't even see it.
Even more drawing. He shot 57% from the field.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, so I mean, it's a great pick. This is the guy you want to get if you want a safe but still high upside pick. And we talked about him earlier. I mean, in the 13s and 14s.
yeah.
And when for the high floor. So great pick by the Spurs.
Spurs are back on the clock. 3rd pick.
Who do you want
in this draft?
Who's your dream guy?
There's only one player that I want, Colin. There's one player that I want, and he goes by the name of Blake Wesley. I think we talked about it a little bit in the last pick, because I was like Malaki Branham, Blake Wesley, Jaden Hardy, any of those 3. 2 of them are still on the board, and the other one is gone because the Spurs took him. Blake Wesley is a home run swing, and teams are scared to take him maybe because of his low floor. Spurs should not be worried about a low floor with pick 25. It's your 3rd pick. This needs to be a home run swing. This needs to be a guy that in 4 years be like, damn, I can't believe he fell to 25. This should not be a guy that'd be like, oh, maybe he can start, No, this needs to be a guy who like, wow, they got a steal on him. That's what it needs to be. And I know they've gotten DeJounte Murray, who I think was a high up, like a similar, and I'm not saying he's the same, obviously they're very different, but they got him at 28, and that was an unproven guy at 28,
That's true.
He had all the length in the world, but didn't have a great year at Washington. We've seen like Kyle Anderson at late spots in the draft. The Spurs at late picks in the draft continue, just always hit. Jarek Kawhi. Kawhi was 15, so I don't want to.
I just want to call it not like early, like 1-2.
Oh, I mean, they never had early picks. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I think the Spurs, in this situation, if you draft Jaden Hardy, if you draft Blake Wesley, either one of those 2, I am head over heels. Even if they draft Bryce McGowan, there's a name for you. That's risky.
That's an interesting
one. It's risky. But I'm taking it. I don't want them to take EJ Liddell. I don't want them to take Kennedy. I don't want them to take a guy who has a lower ceiling. I don't want Trevor Keelis.
Okay, I was going to say Trevor Keelis.
No. I don't want him. I want Blake Wesley. I want Jaden Hardy.
I'm sorry.
I want. I'll give you a 3rd name here.
Kendall Brown.
I wouldn't mind Kendall Brown at all. Justin Lewis is not going to go, but I wouldn't hate it. Bryce McGowan, that's 5.
I'm right there.
Hell, give me Patrick Baldwin Jr. I don't even
Oh
care.
my goodness.
Any home run swing in this draft needs to be taken here. If this is EJ Liddell, I will not be happy. However, I can't be that mad because I think they got the first 2 picks extremely right. I think they just nailed those out the park. Ty Washington. What if it's Ty?
Drafted and having your next life in the NBA.
To me, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
It doesn't make sense.
You have
but it's a
DeJounte
home
Murray
run
here.
swing.
I wouldn't call it a home run swing.
But you know, like he has the potential.
I think
to
he could be
something.
very good. I think he
Yeah.
could be Emmanuel Quickly-esque type player when he
Yeah.
gets in the league. So, I wouldn't mind that pick. It better even though that is kind of a home run swing.
No, that's
It
that's
is kind of a home
it's
run
not a
swing.
home run swing. It's a Spurs pick.
You know what? I can't be mad if it's Nikola Jovic. Do what you gotta do.
He looked at me and said, "That better not be Nikola Jovic."
I wouldn't hate it.
Let's see. Let's see.
That's a home run swing.
With the 25th pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Blake Wesley
Oh my God.
from the University of Notre
They've
Dame.
completed. The Spurs have
The
completed-
trifecta!
The Spurs have completed the perfect NBA draft. All you other GMs can quit, resign. The Spurs will be winning every championship from 2026 to 2020 to 2030. That's 5. Blake Wesley, Malaki Branham,
Wow.
and Jeremy Sochan. That is 3 of the top 40 players on my big board. I think you have them pretty high as well.
3 to 4. So yeah, I had Blake Wesley.
This,
12.
they swung the bat, saying, F your single, F a double. I don't want EJ Liddell. I don't want Kennedy Chandler. I want the 6'5" dude out of Notre Dame who can be a freaking dynamite in my backcourt. Look at this man. Is he perfect? No. Does he have the high floor that we always talk about, that we love? No, he doesn't. And you know what? That's fine. I am 100% okay with that. This dude, Blake Wesley, can learn, can sit for a year, can go to the G League for a year, and just chill out, evolve his game, round out his game, refine his game, and play. And eventually, I believe in the heart of my hearts, he will be a win.
That's
Look
a great
at that.
draft.
Look at the draft. Look what the Spurs just did. That's a draft. You get a defensive lockdown player, versatile 1-5. You get a creative scorer that can score off the bounce to Malaki Branham. And you get Blake Wesley, a shot for the stars. I absolutely love it. That's my boy right there. I've talked to him about 6 or 7 months ago. That's my boy Scott Drew. We're going to get him back on a podcast before long. Shout out Scott Drew. That's my guy.
I don't have to say
You
anything
take it
else.
from
I
there.
don't have to say anything else. I mean, you're the Spurs fan. That's the perfect draft. Did we have him taking all 3 of these players?
We had Trevor Keels as the
Oh,
third pick.
because
we had Blake Wesley
we
at
took
20.
Blake at 20. Yeah.
We did-
Wow.
Alright, I have down in my notes, just to round this out, the ultimate boomer bust pick. Also, Scott Drew just gets on TV as much as possible. I can't wait. What a guy. The ultimate boomer bust prospect, good pull-up, good in isolation, long arms on defense, positional defender, good patience with the ball. 41% at the rim is not good. We will get that better. 3-point percentage is, he's at 30% on the year from 3. No, he at times for Notre Dame, he was the only guy. He was the only option for them. He carried them to a win over Rutgers in the tournament and then a win in the first round as well. So, I mean, we're talking about a guy who I think a floor, and I mentioned this on the mock draft, of Cameron Payne.
Yeah.
And you give that to me, I'm happy. The Spurs have done it again.
Congratulations.
I'm happy. Where's the alcohol?